Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, done in 4 quarters. And of course, my sidekick here, Andrew.
Good morning.
We got to really put the gas to
a lot going on.
Metal to the pedal right now. We've got a number of pictures left to show and a few nice little articles here we want to talk about.
How about the sponsors before we hit the pictures? Just so we knock that out. Let's go with Targill. First off, you're looking for some seasoning. Targill is your place. If you want to be a seller, that you want to wholesale, retail, if you're trying to come up with your own blend, if you got an idea the way you want to market it and you're not quite sure about your recipe, they can help you with that as well. They're certified seasonologists. Huh? Man, I'm gonna have to trademark that word. Ted, seasonologist. Put that on your business card. Seasonologist at Targill. They've got everything from seasoning and butcher supplies, cutlery, kitchen supplies, all that type of thing. If you're a restaurant, if you're a grocery store, if you're an outdoor kitchen type, if you're a caterer, if you're just somebody who likes to bake a lot of pies for the family, or do, you know, my dad likes to make sausage.
You boiling crawfish and you're in the
burn. They got all that there too.
And, well, either for your own personal use, or if you want you're commercial and you haven't heard of Targill yet, they can assist you in large quantities. They can send you a drum of it, a 25-pound bag of it, whatever you want. They can take care of it.
And you'll see, when you pass front of the place right there on Wartell Street, you'll see the big shaker can. Go to targill.com, and it's big. It's big, big. Okay, one more sponsor. We got Don Leger Appraisal Service, and you know, right now, if you're like me, maybe you're working on a land deal. Some of us got land deals. Everybody that got a little bit of property, you always either buying a piece of property, selling a piece of property. Maybe all you're trying to do is insure your piece of property. You've done.
He's handled the last transaction that I have going right now.
And you've only bought the piece of property right next to yours. That's all you ever worry about.
Yep, and that's Mr. John Fakuri made that statement to some young person that the young man said, Mr. John, you seem to be buying up all the property. He said, no, sir, young man. He said, I'm only buying the property next to mine.
And maybe the deal you're looking for, you're trying to maximize your value to sell your piece of property. Maybe you're trying to work out a deal, you're just trying to get good market value because maybe your family's doing
setting up some estate planning, and you need to set a base of the donation price.
Well, I talked to a friend this past week. He says he sees so many of his friends that have a piece of property in the family that the property goes down and down and down because nobody wants to help take care of it. Nobody still lives there. Good thing to do is get a good value, clean up the piece of property and do it. If you're looking for the value, Don Leger Appraisal Service is your man. He's got experience in St. Leonard Parish, Lafayette Parish, St. Martin, Acadia, Evangeline, Iberia, and Vermilion parishes. You can go by, and he's very discreet. Maybe what you're working on, I want to get an idea, but I don't want the kids to know yet. I'm thinking about selling, but I want to get an idea before I go talk to the kids to see what's going on. I don't want to get everybody too nervous. You can do that. If your business partner, you and your business partner are thinking about, you know, one is going to sell out the other, maybe you want to get a nice confidential look and have them get an idea what the value is. That's the kind of guy you might want to call. Don Leger there at Don Leger Appraisal.
A trade that took place, and they had to have appraisals on it, and it was hard to give the appraisals because the land that was being appraised was the horse farm for UL, and UL was needing naturally all the dollars they can get because the universities have been cut back in their budget so much that they were having to get as much as they could. I'm sure they would have liked to have been able to give it to the parish government, but they couldn't, and they ended up making some trades and some sales, and now they're working on the horse farm project, as it's called, just lack of, I guess, I don't think they've named it yet what the real name's going to be, but it is something that's going to be a park, and it's going to be remembered and used for many, many years. So the planning that goes into it now could be the planning that'll last for the turn of next century.
Yeah.
Evangeline Downs is going to host a big horse sale, 2-year-old in training sale that they hold each year on March the 9th. And they're holding that in conjunction with the Breeders' Sale Company of Louisiana. Stars of Tomorrow, 2-year-olds in training, Sunday, March the 9th. And of course, the Stemmons are going to be handling the actual sale itself. They're going to administer it, and you can contact either Don Stemmons or his daughter Charlotte Clavier at 316 2696. Important that you get your entry in as quick as possible. Otherwise, you can get it in later, but it'll cost you a little bit extra money to get it in.
There you go.
I've been to that sale. Now it's a real nice. It's held inside of the event center, so no matter what the weather is, you don't have to be concerned. Either if you need air conditioning that day, you have it. If you need heating, they have that.
How about the photos? You want to go over there and take a look at some of that? We got some. How about right here over the Palace Cafe?
Palace Cafe. A group was meeting, and they were actually waiting on Nolan Briley, who I knew Nolan, haven't seen him in years and years, been living away. One of their friends, maybe a classmate, had died, and they were going to I guess go together as a group and kind of like a little reunion amongst classmates. And Ann McKinney is on the left, and in the corner back, in the back, third from the right would be Mary Bertrand, and Lamonte now DeVilliers, and I think maybe lives down Morgan City area or Thibodaux area. I'm not sure which one. And other members of the group.
Recently portrayed Lael Robertson over at the St. Andrews Cemetery tours. You know, she's very active in theater. And Tammy Lamonte, who runs Delta Grand, is her mother-in-law.
That's correct.
And she's Tammy's mother.
Where our Century 21 office is, her daddy, Mr. Black Bertrand, had Black's Esso station there. Esso. I didn't say Exxon. I didn't say Exxon. I said Esso.
I'm impressed. That's before my time.
Yep, before your time.
Here we got a bunch of fishing poles out around your pond.
Jack. Jack is he goes out with Stephanie Schiff. That's the daughter of Madge and Leslie Schiff.
Look at his puppy with him fishing.
Oh yeah, he fishes regularly, and that's good. Takes care of the pond and watches the pond for me and everything else. So thank you, Jack. And everything is he fishes bass, and it's a catch and release. Releases them right back to catch them bigger next time.
There's the old governor's mansion. That's on Liberty Street, and Growley is the corner.
Yes, sir.
And someone recently purchased that building.
It's a young lady that is she a doctor possibly?
Not
she
sure.
bought the Dubisson home.
Correct.
And can't think of her name. I apologize.
She bought this
lady.
property that was in need of a lot of repair, and is doing it. She is doing it the right way.
Governor's mansion is over the
during the Civil
front
War,
door.
when they were kind of staying in front of the Union troops. My understanding is that the whole capital came here to Louisiana
Possibly
at one
6
point.
months.
So, so there was a lot of action. This was kind of a center of activity for the city. And of course, I'm sure people know more about the story than me. But it's a neat old place. And she's going to restore it to its former glory.
Strip the inside. I mean, really doing
and
a
my understanding is
job.
She will not leave it as a private residence. She's got some ideas that perhaps will make it more public. So we'll see how that progresses. I hope she shares it with everyone.
Thanks for sharing your funds and your knowledge and your interest.
That's right. And how about this? That's my ma's house?
That was my grandmother's house. That's on Liberty Street, basically across the street from the house I just showed you. And I have a little picture with my grandmother and Kelly, when Kelly was probably 4 or 5 years old. We had just been to Mass, and we went to see Mama, and that's Bertha Dupre.
The antique car with the wooden spoke
With the
wheels.
wooden spoke, and I let that get away. Jim Tatman came to my house. I was living on Liberty Street, or we were living on Liberty Street, Adelaide and I, and he came over there and he wouldn't leave until he got the car. And next time I saw the car, it was loaded on one of these car haulers. He had sold it, and it was on the way to Belgium. Now that's another story. And that was a mistake. I don't see another wood spoke wheel car.
The only one I've ever seen, and I've only seen the picture.
Like that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a little sunset. I don't know where you are there. You on
probably
I-49?
coming back.
From Washington?
Well, no, I think I was coming back maybe from Port Barry, looking at the camp over there. Got a project going. I have to have projects. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
And here,
y'all had a wreck?
I didn't, but I couldn't get to my house the normal way. And this is a kind of like a dead end that runs in the back of the Old Daily World building. And
the Sleed building.
And Intergy has a
substation
right.
Looks like
right
it
past there.
flipped and burned, some Jeep or something?
A Jeep or what?
Maybe a Hummer?
And I didn't see
big.
no motor. They said that it got so hot that it burned the motor.
Burned the motor.
No, that was a pretty hot little fire there. And that's Wayne and Todd Doucette doing the hauling.
That's not Wayne's first one, though.
Oh, no.
Or Todd.
And let me tell you something. I wouldn't want to be Todd, because Todd's got to take a back seat there.
Oh, when Daddy comes in, you got to get out of the way?
Even if he had to hook that chain 6 inches different, he was going to put his 2 bits in there.
And
Wayne, you've been successful. I'm just picking at you,
he's
buddy.
something else.
That's my cousin. I got to be nice to him.
And there's Miss Megan visiting you last Sunday.
Yeah, you
at
see,
your
she's
house?
got a crutch. She had that surgery we spoke about a couple of weeks ago.
And you reading the iPad, and she's on with the iPhone while you're on the iPad. You're both on the computers at the same time and visiting. You're probably texting each other. That's how people do that nowadays. They sit next to each other.
Yeah, and we talked about the book, Happy, Happy, Happy.
Yeah, that's the Phil Robertson, the Duck Dynasty guy.
Right.
Duck Commander. Duck
Adelaide
Dynasty.
gave me that one of 3 books. She wants me to stay home and do some reading. I actually
That's a good
read
idea.
Sunday. I read the whole book. If I don't finish them that day, if I go this far,
that's as far as you're gonna get.
As far as I get. I gotta try.
While
to
it's
go
hot,
to,
you gotta get it.
Get it the whole. Very interesting. It's.
He's a pretty sharp guy.
A good. Oh yeah.
Loves Jesus.
Boy, I'll tell you what, it closes the last, I guess, 10, 15 pages, really gives a lot of his personal beliefs and where his success comes in. And he tells everything. He confesses, I mean, everything he did wrong that he could put in a book and not kill the book. He feels
that at one point, he let all that go. He turned his life around by reaching out to God a little bit, and then all of a sudden, his business followed, everything followed.
He talks about baptizing as many as 20 at a time in the river in front of their home. They still own that same home that they bought many years ago, he and Miss Kay. And of course, Miss Kay's book is one of the top sellers.
And his brother's book is
Psychology.
Yes, his brother Cy. And so, I mean, the whole crew all doing very well. Now, we got to get a couple more pictures because we're about to run out of time. This is a face painting that you went to?
Yes, sir. At Sombreros used to be Casa Olay.
Right.
And that's Miss Tina Touchette. And she does face painting on Tuesday, free meals for the kids on Tuesdays. And I met the Wanda Oye, Tommy Oye family and all their friends for a birthday party. And there's no charge for this face painting. I'm sure she would be glad to have a little.
One more photo.
Yep. And they were hunting out at Winfield, our Winfield hunting camp, and Shelby on the right is Ray Bello and Pat's granddaughter, and her boyfriend is Chance, and they killed each a doe out of the same, and gotta shut it down.
Prayer book.
Gotta get the
same
book.
stand.
Out of the same stand, within probably 15 or 20 minutes of each other. Oh Jesus, my God, be near me and stay with me. Do not let me stray from my eternal destiny. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend, and we suggest that you consider attending the church of your choice this weekend. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Chief.